All right, welcome back to the channel. This is a video that I want to do, and I'm going to do this because I want to have fun. David Haye, who after his retirement as a fighter has really grown on me as a person, as a promoter, as a commentator. I like David Haye, a bright guy, a very fair guy. Like him, and he says stuff that people around him, you know, aren't comfortable with, but hey, man, he'll go against the grain in a heartbeat. Really respect David Haye for that. In this particular going against the grain, he says that he doesn't believe that Mike Tyson is a top 5 heavyweight. And then he's having a hard time getting Mike Tyson into ranking Mike Tyson that high. Now, I usually don't do these type of videos on the channel. I usually try to do like a current daily news and all that stuff so we can chop it up and keep talking about what's going on in boxing. But this one really gives an opportunity to analyze the truth or falseness of what David Haye has to say. Let's talk about that and have some fun in this video. All right, so David Haye says he does not know whether or not Tyson Fury, or excuse me, not Tyson Fury, Mike Tyson, the real Tyson, Mike Tyson. Tyson Fury's real, man. Tyson Fury can fight, man. At the end of the day, man, Tyson Fury can fight. I know he can. I still think he cheated, but I know the dude can fight. Anyway, David Haye says that he doesn't know if he can put Iron Mike Tyson, in his top 5 heavyweights of all time. And I have to tell you, dude, I have a hard time putting Mike Tyson in my top 10. So I'm feeling David Haye on that. But a lot of people swear by Mike Tyson, and there's nothing wrong with that because Mike Tyson was a beast, okay? Mike Tyson was a beast. When he came out in the early 1980s, man, he just was Mike Tyson is what I think of kind of like a Michael Jackson, right? Or a Michael Jordan. He's truly, truly a phenomenon, right? Like when he came through like a flash flood. Right? Like all of a sudden, who was Mike Tyson to 2 days later? Like, man, this dude is wrecking ball like 15 guys this month, because he would fight and he would fight and he would fight and he would fight. And it was just like, I can't tell you how many knockouts and how quickly he got up to the status of being one of the top heavyweights. And they knew early on that there was no heavyweight that was active at that time that was going to be able to beat him. Right. And you saw him just running through people, knocking people out in the first round. He had multiple first round knockouts. So there was just a lot of fervor around Mike Tyson, man. And then the way that Mike Tyson was promoted added to it. I don't know if you guys remember at the time, but Mike Tyson has always been promoted as a savage, right? He's always been promoted as a savage. He went from being a simple savage that could be controlled by Customato and his team, but he was a savage, right? He wasn't concerned about having, robes and fancy ring entrances. He was just an animal. Cut a towel, just cut a hole in the towel and stick it over my neck, my 39-inch neck, and I'm going in there to crush people. That was Mike Tyson. It was fearful. It was frightening. You could tell that fighters got into the ring and they were scared. That was a whole big thing. And Mike Tyson carried that through all the way to the Buster Douglas fight. But then after the Buster Douglas fight and he lost the Buster Douglas fight, he comes back, starts fighting again. He's a different type of savage. He's the type of savage who wants to hurt you, but he's the type of savage who's going to say whatever's on his mind and you really can't control him. So phase 1 was the controllable savage. That's the one that they promoted, they built up. That's the one that had the commercials, the one that was just, the Mike Tyson that was really growing in the beginning. Then after he got convicted for that, what happened in Indiana or didn't happen in Indiana, then he becomes the uncontrollable savage. Knocks out a bunch of dudes same way, but then he loses some fights, right? So that's Mike Tyson's career, and that's what really impressed. That is what I think the fame of Mike Tyson is about, right? I don't think anybody knows of a fighter. Is there a heavyweight boxer that is more of a savage than Mike Tyson, right? If you talking about top 10 savages at heavyweight, Mike Tyson's my guy. If Mike Tyson can't beat you, Mike Tyson will eat your ear. That type of dude, you know what I mean? I remember him was it Andrew Galata? Dude, he hit Andrew Galata so hard it looked like he dented his face. He was just a terror. But that is a slightly different conversation though. Than is he a top 5 heavyweight ever? Now, when we talk about these top level guys, right? It's boxing fans sometimes we act like either you are the best or you're trash, right? So Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the best welterweight in the world, right? Go back to 2016, 2015. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the best welterweight in the world. And somebody else thinks Manny Pacquiao is the best welterweight in the world. Well, the people that think Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the best welterweight in the world, talk about Manny Pacquiao like he's trash, right? The people that think Manny Pacquiao is the best talk about Floyd Mayweather like he never fought a real fighter. Everything was ducks. His hands were fragile. He had IVs. He was allowed to use an illegal IV. He really lost the Castillo fight. He's trash, right? So it's you're either at the top of the mountain or you're in the bottom of the sewer. And that's just not that's just not how it is. And I say that for this reason. Mike Tyson is a beast, absolute beast, but he ain't in my top 10. And he's scratching my top 10, but he's not in my top 10. I can understand where David Haye is coming from. So for me, and I wrote them down because I usually don't write down anything but maybe a little simple outline for videos, just in case, my mind wanders for a second and I need something to bring me back to point. But I wrote down, after some thinking, what my top 10 heavyweights of all time were. And they are Ali, Sam Langford, Jack Johnson, Joe Louis, Larry Holmes, George Foreman, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield at 10. At 9. I take that back. At 9, I have Mike Tyson. After that, I have the Klitschko. I have the Klitschkos, right, and Riddick Bowe. Now, if you notice something about this list, it does not have any active fighters on it. Right? I'm not putting Tyson Fury up there. I'm not putting Deontay Wilder up there in my list. I'm not putting anybody that is currently fighting in that list because that shit has to play out. Okay? Excuse my language. Because it has to play out. Period. Tyson Fury could jump into the ring. Tyson Fury could jump into the ring with Dillian White and get knocked out. Right? And all of a sudden they're like, oh, it's true. He doesn't have a chin. Then people are like, oh, let me just walk through him and knock him out. Right? Deontay Wilder, people think that he wouldn't be deserving of being a top 10 fighter ever right now. But Deontay Wilder, has another fight with Tyson Fury. He might knock out Tyson Fury in the first round. Right? And then have another match and knock him out again in the second round. You just have to see all these things play out. You could have Daniel Dubois come up and knock everybody out, right? You know what I'm saying? Like Daniel Dubois just goes on a streak. Like he knocks out Dillian White. Then he knocks out Tyson Fury. He knocks out Anthony Joshua. He gets knocked out by Deontay Wilder. I ain't rooting against Deontay Wilder, dog. We in live action right now. So anyway, you get my point. So that's it. Just in case people want to know, well, where's Deontay Wilder? Well, Deontay Wilder's an active fighter. I'm not putting an active fighter because the active fighter has an advantage and a disadvantage against the guys that you're trying to rank that are no longer fighting. You know the totality of Mike Tyson's career. You know the totality of Muhammad Ali's career. You know what they've done. You know the ups. You know the downs. You know how they responded to losses. Right? And where you know how George Foreman responded to a loss, not well. And so that's why I can't have George Foreman higher on the list, right? I do have him up there very high, but I can't put him above Larry Holmes because he lost and ran away for a decade. So it's tough on me. So anyway, I very much feel what David Haye is talking about. I can't do it either. I can't put him in my top 5. I do have him in my top 10, but quite honestly, there's some people that could have conversations with me and say, hey, well, what about Rocky Marciano, right? What about Rocky Marciano and Tyson? Like, I don't know, man. I got Tyson over Rocky Marciano because I think Tyson would knock out Rocky Marciano. But hey, man, what about Jack Dempsey? What about Gene Tunney? The reason I don't have Jack Johnson, Jack Dempsey and Gene Tunney, or a guy like, like them, they didn't fight black fighters. You know what I mean? And then I have Sam Langford very high because Sam Langford won a bunch of titles around the world, and people knew him at that time as being the best heavyweight. But Jack Johnson wouldn't fight him, and during that time, he just wasn't going to get a shot. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. I respect David Haye for what he had to say. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.